Good morning. My name is Sandra, and this channel is called Threadhead Said. I am a self-proclaimed threadhead. I wanted to give an update on my counted cross stitch project, one of them that I shared in my first video, and do some talking about what I hope to get done today. It is 6:31 on Saturday morning, and my primary goal today is to get as much done on piecing the quilt top for the Tulip Pink Butterfly quilt. More on that in a minute. The floss tubing news is that I finished Whale. I got her all done. My pattern called for a different color of the beak, but it was a green. So I think there must be a typo. I didn't see any corrections online, but I just did my own thing and put orange in the gull's beak. I think I'm going to put navy, make a flat wall hanging, quilted wall hanging. I'm going to put navy on there and then some white cording to look like a sailor's rope or something. And then it has the two charms, a whale tail and a sailboat, and I will put those on there. The pattern has them in each corner, one here and one here. I don't know that that's what I will do, but we'll see. So that could get done this weekend, but so of the 9 whips that I showed in my first video, knock one down, that makes it 8, right? No. I found or remembered that I actually had 2 other projects that I'm working on. And one is a wedding sampler that is, I'm not going to show it because it's got the name and all that, but basically I'm freestyling with this Leisure Arts alphabets. So I've selected an alphabet in here that has ombre colors through it, and then I'm stitching the name in kind of bold letters, and then the last name in bold letters, and then the first name and date in just backstitch. But I'm using these fabulous blues. It's in gradiated color. Get it in the right order here. So, and then I pulled this from Cross Stitcher Magazine, Summer 2024. I'm going to use a piece, do something like this. And this is done in the gradient blue color. So that'll be like a border on the top. I don't know if it'll be all the way around. I'm designing it as I go. So that takes my whip count up to 9. But wait, there's more. A project that I had forgot I was working on, it was actually rolled up in the wedding sampler, so I had misplaced it. But in Cross Stitcher Magazine, in August 2024, they had this super cool nautical scene, and they actually have it. One of the things that I like about Cross Stitcher Magazine is their finishings are pretty cool. They have this as a lamp. They have it finished as a lamp. Is that not wild? So I didn't want it as a lamp, but let me pull this down. I just love it. I love that look. So, my grandson is a big fan of the Wellerman song. I'll put a link in the description box below. But I took the design, I tea-dyed some fabric. This is white 14 count fabric that I tea-dyed to get an off color. I took the Wellerman song, graphed it out, and added that to the picture. So I'm almost done with the words. I have about 3 or 4 more words to write and then finish up the picture. I'll lose some of the I'll lose some of these details over here. Like I'm not gonna stitch that. And then there's also like some of this stuff over here. I'm gonna stitch or replace. I'll get the gull in there, but yeah. Sorry if that was a copyright breach. Anywho, some of the pieces I'm gonna either delete or move around, but yeah, this is, so that brings my whips then, what did we say, 9 minus 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so this makes my whips at 10. And a non-stitching friend mentioned like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of whips. And I just nodded and smiled. It is a lot of whips. However, I was watching, Corey Creates, I think, in St. Louis, which is, I'm from St. Louis, so it was nice to hear about some of those places that I am familiar with. She has 30. She said she likes to keep her whips around 30, so. And then I know there's people who have upwards of 100 or, 60, 70 range or whatever. So 10 is really, in the grand scheme of floss tube world, is a small number. So that is that. I did break back out Strawberry Moon since I finished the whale. I hope to finish the Strawberry Jam for Strawberry Moon. I think I need to pick up some more of this color. They had used a variegated thread in the pattern. I only like variegated thread used a certain way. I don't like it just to do back and forth. It doesn't create the look that I want to create with variegated thread, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so the big project for today is going to be what I said I was going to do. In just a second. So I drink my coffee from a mason jar sometimes. Don't judge me. A couple of reasons. One of them is I need to do dishes, and the other one is it fits my hand based on the dexterity and different things I have going on with my hand at this point. This works. Doing a cup and doing all this, I can do it for sewing, but I don't like to do it holding a cup to drink. So that's why some of the drinks holders that we have, the super insulated things, they just don't work for me right now. So I'm going old school with the mason jar. When it's hot, you have to hold it by the top and as it cools down. Anywho, so the big project for today is to get the Tula Pink quilt top done. As I mentioned in my launch video, there are 9 sections. There are 9 sections per side. So I have to cut the fabric piece that I was waiting in on. I think it was one of these on the side. It might be this one. I just needed to cut 2 pieces of this and then collect this sections. I have 6 of these done, 3 more to go, and then do the other side. And then my center is the black body as I showed before. So the thing that makes this tricky for me is I have a little bit of dyslexia going on. So I have to really catch myself, and I have to put on my my thinking hat, my thinking shoes, my thinking everything to check myself and make sure I have these orientated to left and right. So there's that. So it's 6:40 now. As I said, this is the goal for today. I have a few hours this morning to do some sewing, and then I have some other things to do later today, some domestic stuff and some other play. So I'm going to do that. But I wanted to say one more thing about Stitch. Okay, so we know the Stitch movie is out, and I bought this. He has a broken wrist. I got this delivered the other day, Friday or whatever, and he has a broken wrist, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But it's a cork board, and the way they have it displayed is to put the Disney pins in here, and then the lanyards and all that. I'll put Disney pins and whatever else I want on it, but it's gonna go back up on that wall there. You know, I love me some Stitch. We went to see the movie last weekend, and I got this in the merch section. How cute is that? So, and this, I think it came with like free refills in the theater or whatever. The movie is very cute. Okay, one more Stitch thing. When I purchased the Stitch panel, this little Stitch panel at the same place, Itchin' to Get Stitchin', I also bought some vinyl, some PVC, I think it's called PVC vinyl, and you can custom order different prints. Well, you can also custom order the size, small, medium, large. I really didn't understand that when I first ordered. So I ordered this in the small, with a small run. Let me put something behind it. I ordered this in the small run, not knowing that the pictures were going to come out micro. But I got one big sheet, and so far I've just made this little zipper bag, flat bottom zipper bag, that holds very important scissors, marking utensils, seam ripper, and some Q-tips for my sewing machine, cleaning my sewing machine. So anyway, all right, so homage to Stitch for the day. All right, thinking about my first video, the launch, I would give myself a C+. You know, I wasn't exactly excited about the recording quality, the video, or I mean the visual pieces of it. It seemed like it was a little blurry. I don't know if it's my eyesight. I kept asking people, and people told me, oh, it looks okay, it's fine. I don't know if they're being polite or they didn't see what I see. Anywho, so I'm hoping to improve on that. I'm working with a new camera, or new phone. So like 2 weeks new. So I'm trying to figure out its nuances and, how it works compared to what my previous phone worked. So hopefully the visual quality will improve. And I created a blog of the same name, Threadhead Said, and that will be where I post patterns or different things, other information, more pictures maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so you can check that out if you like. When I do the reproduction of the Civil War quilt top that was turned into cross stitch, and I'm going to turn it back into a quilt top. When I create that, get it all finished and problem solved, and have a good pattern, I'll post it over on the blog, and anyone who likes to can go over there and pick it up for free and give it a shot. With that project, it uses Y seams. When I made it before, it was all full of Y seams, Y, or this is actually Y, or whatever is Y in sign language. And so, there's a lot of Y seam haters out there. And I wonder, is it more stigma? Because right now, doing English paper piecing, which is very tedious, people are all into English paper piecing, but they break out in a sweat when you say Y seam. So I think it's stigma. I think it's stigma around doing Y seams. I think if you mark it where you want to stop with a little dot and you follow that, it's very doable. So I think what I'm going to do is do a Y seam version, just for those who want to challenge themselves, or me included, see if I can challenge myself to do a Y seam version as I did back in the 80s. I didn't know any better. I just did it, and when I took it to the craft store, the Keepsake craft store where I work, and the older women who worked there, she was one of the ladies, Barb, God love her, she was a serious quilter, and she was like, oh my gosh, you did Y seams? I didn't know it was a big deal. I was just making it up, and I was just trying to make the picture match what I had in fabric. So anyway, so I'll make one with Y seams for anybody who wants to challenge themselves, self included, and then I'll make one without Y seams. you know, using half square triangles. And what it does when you do that is create more seams, which, you know, it's all right too. Generally, when there's more seams, you have more bulk. People go to great lengths to remove that, including starching. I don't starch, ever. I don't starch, and I don't use steam. So, you know, I don't. There's reasons too, and there are people, you know, it's like breastfed, bottle fed, working mom, stay at home mom, like all those battles that we create amongst groups and women and whatever. I'm not going there. I don't starch, I don't iron, get over it. I mean, I don't steam, I do iron. I iron dry, no steam. I'll get off that tangent. Okay, all right, I think that's it. Was I gonna sew anything else? I don't know, but like, how cool is that whale? Just an extra little. And the sailboat, the way they use the back stitch in here, they'll put some stitches, some suggestion of stitches for the, in white for the sail, and then use some back stitching. It's just very cool. All right, I'm gonna end this, keep it short and sweet. It is now at 6:47. I'm gonna get some stitching done this morning and check back in with you later, and we'll see how far I got. So until now, deuces. Okay, so here is an example of how the Tula Pink butterfly quilt has been challenging for me because of my dyslexic tendencies. So what I see here is this section and this section I have sewn. But when I look at these, they're going the wrong way. So what I've done is sewn this bottom and this bottom to the wrong sections. So if I unsew it, can I just flip them? No, I can't just flip the unit. I have to unsew this one and sew this differently. What the heck? Crap. Well, something's got to get unsewn. I don't think I want to have this going down, do I? It's supposed to go like that. These are going up. These look like they're going feathering downward. Okay, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to put all the other pieces together and I'm going to think on this. I'm going to hang it up on my makeshift design wall, which is actually that unit that I hang things on, and think about it today. All right, that's where we're going to leave it. Crap. Okay, we are back, and it has been a very productive day. I got both sides done. Both sides of my Tula Pink butterfly quilt are together. Da, 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 da. All the way. So this morning when I started, I thought I had 6 sections together and just needed to do 3 sections and then put them all together. I was wrong. This morning I only had 2 sections actually completely together, and the other pieces needed some more sewing. So got them all the sections put together and joined. Now all that's left is to join the left and right wing to the body and then put on the upper and lower border. And my Tula Pink quilt top will be done. I will feel very accomplished when I get that finished. I have the backing for it, but I probably won't have it quilted until after the first of the year. I'm kind of researching who I want to do that. So the long armor that I've been using, I want a more personal experience with this piece just because it's so big. And so there you go. Lots of progress on that. Couple other things I wanted to mention. So tomorrow is Father's Day, and I wanted to share a project. I worked with my grandson to make this little bag, a little ditty bag. So I did the machine embroidery. He cut away the extra threads. If you know anything about machine embroidery, there's always a lot of extra threads. And then he helped sew the bag together. Got the By Annie kind of piece on it so you get a good swivel. And inside, for my contribution, I added baseball cards because, you know, moms give baseball cards. That's what we do. Anyway, so this is a Father's Day gift that my grandson and I put together for my son. Part of the gift will be the video and pictures of my grandson doing some of the work. So, quite fun. There's that. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, to all the people who filled in for dad, for father role, whether you were a mom, a grandma, a grandpa, whoever, uncle, auntie, whoever you might be that filled in the father-like role. Happy Father's Day to you. Two more things. So it's kind of a crazy world out there right now, and this is something that I've been thinking about doing, and as you probably guessed with my first video when I talked about Donna Jordan passing and doing a quilt just for me to commemorate her, I guess you would say I'm an emotional stitcher. I think that's, I don't know if that's a term that anybody's throwing out, but I'm going to throw it out there. And so I've had this quilt pattern called Peace, and it's got all these doves, obviously, dirty dirt. I think I'm just going to stitch a block and just think about peace. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese, what is he? A monk? Whatever is his title. But anyway, Thich Nhat Hanh says that world peace begins with personal peace. So I'm going to work on my own personal peace and hope that it has an impact in the circles that I run in. But I'm going to create one of these doves as either a bag or a pillow or whatever, just to kind of have me thinking more about peace. So there's that. Strawberry Moon Sal. This is going to be my dove piece, Sal. Me, myself, and I are going to be very involved in this. And the last thing I wanted to say, so my shirt today, it says, "You are enough." This is another of the Till Valhalla t-shirts, and I just wanted to throw that out there. Whoever you are, wherever you are enough. In all your stages of working toward a better you, as we all strive to do, wherever you are right now, you are enough. So I'm Sandra, I'm a Threadhead, and this is what Threadhead said today. I hope you have a lovely day. Deuces. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I already have 3 subscribers. Woohoo! Thank you for your comments, and yeah, let's keep building this. Thank you so much. Deuces.